Damn.
Do we need a little shot? Because
Yeah.
we can do it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if that was recorded too.
Yeah, but in volume, like here better.
I never ever put a bitch before my money. I never put a bitch before my money on my mommy. You got the wrong youngin', baby, I am not no dummy. You know how I'm coming, bitch, I keep them comers coming. Where the money at? Run it, all hundreds, yeah. All these things, baby, praise, honey.
They been like 2-4 times.
Shit like a check.
Yeah, like it wasn't too many, but it happened. Yeah, that shit happened
Word on the street, I heard that bitch you put your feet. Word on the street, tell a nigga keep. Word on the street, yeah, I heard he keep that heat. Word on the street, yeah, I heard he keep a key.
This is Wholesome Podcast, Wholesome B Mitch. Trey with no waves in the building.
I need a haircut type shit.
Sure, whatever you gotta say.
Niggas hate.
Then today we got Niyi with a couple waves. He got like 3-4 of them.
Oh boy.
Shit. Shit, before we start, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and also follow us on IG. Nigga, like, comment, all that good shit. Share that bitch too.
Absolutely, please do. What I know today is like, I want to know, is like, why do men, because we're all single, we've all been dating, but why do men hang on to women that they're not trying to be in a relationship with? So they're holding on to them. You know you don't want to be in a relationship with them, but you still hold on. Like, I know we've all done it too, so why?
Shit, fucking, I still like you, it just ain't ready to be a relationship and shit, but shit, I like having fun with you, spending time with you, fucking you, like all that good shit.
But don't want a relationship.
Hey, it levels to this shit, I'm not ready.
What you think?
Oh man. Yeah, this is spicy. I think it's just keeping 100. Men want to have their cake and eat it too. I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
It's like when you got something like that, especially when you know very well you're not trying to pursue a relationship.
Right.
It's like if you ever been to LA Fitness and you know very well you get a free pass every single time you go, you're gonna keep using that bitch until someone tells you your guest pass is run out.
That was
a good one.
Yeah. He's 100% right.
Now you every day now you're like, oh, it's chest day today.
Use them passes.
Use all the passes.
How I'm gonna figure this one out?
Exactly. Now now it's a new person at the front desk telling you like, sir, your guest pass is no longer valid. It's actually no longer been valid for the last 3 months. Wait a minute. Hold on.
So you saying like, so until somebody calls you out and says, hold on, wait, we need to do something different or we need to stop, you just going with it.
Have I gone with it or are you saying in general?
You.
Me
Trey Sugar said, yeah, like he rolling with it.
Yeah.
I would say I've done literally both. And when I say I've done both, I've definitely done where like I allowed my guest pass to stay as open as possible. And not even saying playing both sides, but if you mature enough, you understand that like, okay.
That comes with some pressure.
It does.
It depends for me, like sometimes I get cut off. Sometimes they be waiting for a long time to cut me off. But at the time I use my guest pass too long, it's very detrimental.
Yeah.
I don't want to play. Honestly, I don't like playing with people's feelings. You know, you tell them what it is and shit. But unless they put that pressure, they're gonna make this decision not if I wanna fuck with you or not. But then if that nigga ready, not a black man, but another nigga might, cause you put the pressure on him, might cheat on you. Not a black man, it's still like fuck with you cause you made one, but you put too much pressure on him at that time. Cause the women who fucking put the pressure on them or whatever, you put the pressure on the dude, and then now you just so surprised he fucking other bitches.
I mean, what if it's no pressure though? But it's just a matter of y'all doing all these things that can be considered relationship things. What's the difference between having a relationship?
Oh, you talking about a situationship?
Okay, we doing relationship shit, but I still might be fucking other people who I'm ready to not fuck yet.
That goes back to my guest Guest
Right,
pass.
that goes back to guest pass. So then why not just say, let's have an open relationship?
Oh, you want the real reason why men don't want you.
I want to know what's going on. Because I mean, I know I do the same thing.
I definitely
I do the same thing.
What would you do? You I mean, you said it before. You cool with the open shit.
Yeah, I'm cool with it, but I mean, I'm not in an open relationship, so clearly I ain't that cool with it.
I was gonna say that.
So
Do you really want that image in your head?
No.
So I mean, it's a slippery situation. Either way,
It's slippery and sticky.
It's slippery and slippery.
And you like something too much, you ain't gonna want another nigga fucking that bitch.
But it's like,
Woman.
but I mean, if she's not in a relationship, she can do whatever she want to do.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like
Mind control.
It is a little bit of mind control. Not even a little bit. It's a lot of bit of the mind control that.
Especially the deeper. Not saying I do this, but the deeper you go with a female, a woman, or whatever, and shit. Yeah, we ain't together and shit, but it sounds foul.
It's like, but the dude then has to like, and which is I don't say we scared to do, but it's like we now have to open up about our emotions about that woman that if we're truly interested further past than just the physical and like I just like having sex with you.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden I have to sit down, quote unquote,
have a different conversation
and have a different conversation with this woman versus just this is just a smash buddy.
No,
and me, like I'm gonna fuck with someone, and I know they might want a relationship, but I'm very when it comes to relationship shit, I'm very like ain't no titties on certain shit. So you do little things I don't like or. Not to sound controlling, but I might have said I don't like this shit and you do the opposite of the shit I don't like. I will fuck with you, but then eventually I'm always spend time with you. So the more you spend time, they gonna want a relationship. But I think back to the shit when I didn't like, and that still deterred me from doing that shit.
So why not just end it there? Like why continue on?
Because I still like spending time and fucking you.
No, yeah, I get it.
Like it's wrong.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I don't know if it's right or wrong. Because if they going along with it, is it all that wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
It's
because I mean these are two adults that's going along with this process.
They're two adults consenting. Don't get me wrong. There's two adults consenting, but we very well, and maybe because, and I guess speak from the men's perspective, we know when.
Oh no, dude,
we're
just speaking on your perspective, not the man, just yours.
That's fair. I know. That I know that like you keep playing that game. Like I said, you keep going to that gym. You keep going to the gym. Like I get.
Damn, you here all the time. You gonna bypass it now?
You're gonna keep going to the gym until someone tells you, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here anymore." But eventually, you're gonna be. Eventually, the maturity got to come into play where it's like, all right, cool. I keep spending all my time here. I keep. "Quote unquote" investing here.
You're investing. At some point, them fees is due.
They're due.
Them fees is due.
They're due, and the thing is that I know and others know when they do come due, you're like you're not shocked, but you're like I don't want it to be due right now.
Yeah, I'm not prepared. Like I knew it was coming, but I'm still not prepared.
Yep.
And that's real. But once they're due, and this person's telling you, well, hey, you got to pay up. You got to pay up with your emotions. You got to pay up with how you feeling. Mm. We got to do something else. Or maybe they're not saying we got to do something else, but they're expressing more than you want to express. How y'all reacting then?
Cash and check that might bounce.
That's what I can't do that.
I thought shit, but niggas do that.
You do
Absolutely.
that.
No, niggas do that. That's a real thing.
No, let's go ahead.
So women can't be mad when you put pressure on them and nigga cash and check that might bounce.
But the other perspective is, and I speak to myself, I remember thinking to myself, all right, cool, I'm going to be real. Like I said, have that conversation. I'm going to finally face
That's detrimental too.
It is detrimental because when I called
you got to be ready for that 5.
I remember when I called her and it was like, I'm trying to set up a brunch. Now I'm trying to be real. We've hung out before and things of that nature, but like as soon as I make that call, like let's do brunch, let's talk. It's like I'm not available. That shit hit different. Now it's like, because I'm now the option that I gave her.
The only reason it feels different because the ball not in your court no more. Like it's
how
different.
do you feel about that though?
I feel some type of way, but sometimes I do shit when you might be balancing too many things at once. Like, so you was hoping that shit happened, but when it happened, you still like, damn, it's still a damn factor. At least in my case. Cause like shit, I knew it was gonna happen, but damn, now it happened.
No, the situation I just gave, oh yeah, I felt the way.
Yeah.
You feel a way because you're a human, but at the same time, it's like you were playing a game. And then you got to understand the consequences. I think that's why that whole chalk it up to the game is really a thing.
No, that's something you chalk up to the game. But for me in them situations when that happens, I'm low key like, that's perfect. I'm more excited than feeling anything because I'm like,
you finally get the cut off and everything.
Yes, that's the out I was looking for. So I mean, if I wasn't trying to be in a relationship, I can't string this lady along for forever, and now she kind of sliding me to the side. I'm
perfect. Cool with that, but I'm not cool when she want to be faithful and stop fucking me.
I'm cool with that because I'm like, now I don't have to hurt this girl's feelings.
I wasn't gonna hurt your feelings. I still want to fuck.
But you can't do that forever.
But are you saying that
you can't just be the fuck buddy or whatever forever?
No, you can't.
At some point, somebody got to make a decision on what it's going to be or what it isn't going to be. So if she makes that decision and says, "Now I'm gonna go ahead and push you to the side and go do something else,"
are you saying
for me that's a win? I'm okay with that. That's
but
great.
But to ask you a question, Nick, are you saying that the women in those situations can't handle the truth?
No, most women can't handle the truth.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they in that situation they probably can handle the truth because they have decided to do something else. So they understand what the truth is.
Yeah.
And they've said, you know what, I accept it. I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go do something else.
Yeah.
You carry on, sir. You carry on, sir. And with that, I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
I feel you. Perfect.
Right.
Therefore, I don't have to be extra blunt with you. I ain't got to be extra matter of fact with you. I don't got to do none of that because you just kind of slid me to the side, so I can carry on and I don't have to. Nobody's feelings are hurting.
That's still cool though, so I could balance my main one and shit. But I still might want to fuck you at least once a month.
But what happens when that ends?
I mean, it's cool.
It's a cold world, man.
At some point, it ends.
No, of course it does. You find another one till the cycle happens again.
We say we find another one, man.
Yeah,
like sometimes, I think that's the thing. I think we sometimes we treat those situations like
it's always another.
It's always another.
Not always another.
You know what it is? I mean, I'm an analogy person, so you're gonna hear a whole bunch of analogies today. You ever go, and I'm probably use this again, but like, you ever go on Airbnb when you go on vacation and you think like, I'm gonna get that one spot that I found.
I just had Atlanta, it did not work. I was just in Atlanta last weekend. It did not work.
5 bedrooms, it's 3 baths, they got a pool.
For $250.
$250 is 5 miles
for 3 nights.
It's gonna be there next week. It's not there the next day. It never works out like that. It don't. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
Because it never works.
It never works.
It never works like that.
And maybe that's why niggas single right now.
Maybe. You might be right. That's a very sad note to
that.
Yeah. Shit just take 5 minutes.
But that's true though. That's very true. Like,
look, this is funny. How many women have you guys known? You fuck with her 1 week. 3 weeks later, she's in a full-blown relationship, engaged, halfway pregnant and shit.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, literally, how many times had that happened?
That's definitely happened to me a handful of times. Where it's like, damn, you in a relationship? I think so. When that happens, that's a little spicy.
Yeah,
that's a little spicy.
That's more than spicy. That's hot.
That's hot.
It be them times like they really be on you, and literally a month later, like nigga, you took too long.
For me, it just be like, you could have told me if you was like feeling somebody else. Like, damn.
What would that have changed?
I would have took a step back.
You think you would have took a step back?
Yeah, I would have.
Then why was she? What made a difference? She told you not.
Man,
because by the time she's in a relationship, she's clearly telling you that she's in a relationship to break it off, like to say, hey, no, be cool on that.
Would you also say though that's the women playing the same role that we just described?
Absolutely, everybody should play the game.
Yeah.
I think everybody should play how the game is played. Whatever.
Because people are more sensitive, so they take shit to heart more. So nigga, you playing, the other nigga not.
Yeah. No, I
can't be mad at it, but
it's a cold world. But
it's I say this all the time. Life is a business, it's not personal. People gotta cater to them. So they can't be worried about other motherfuckers' feelings, especially they taking their time and shit. I hope the wrong people don't watch this, but you can't, you gotta live for you.
Yeah, but no, I don't agree with that. Because life isn't a business. It is personal. Mm-hmm. It's literally based on personalities and relationships.
A lot of the things that we do in life are based on the relationships that we have with said people that are personal, right? So,
But at the end of the day, you're still more important than anybody else.
Oh, so I would always say
take care of yourself.
Self-preservation is a must.
Yeah, so if you know someone, so you don't matter what you like them, just like you like that job and shit.
Mm-hmm.
They playing, they putting you to the side, you ain't getting that promotion and shit. I'm gonna take my more personal care, my mental health over all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine, but I mean, there's somebody that can say that you can't reach your full potential unless you have a counterpart of the opposite sex or whatever.
I'm sorry, I heard that's true.
And I definitely think that's true.
I think that's true. I think there's a balance in which I think, and I know that the roles of men and women, this is going to get real spicy. The roles of men and women have definitely been challenged. I'll say that much. Mm-hmm. And there's certain things that men do that women can't do, and I think there's certain things that women can do that men can't do. But I think that's where the balance comes in, and whether you believe in a higher power or not, I think that's where we get the ability to say, okay, this is what I know I can do, but in order for me to reach my true potential, I need this counterpart.
I need that other.
Because there's a perspective. Like, men are very good when we get a plan and a vision. We can get real focused, but there's little nooks and crannies that a woman can see that we can't see.
Absolutely.
That's what I would say.
I do appreciate the woman who do keep it G at them the moments and shit. I do appreciate that shit.
I feel like that when a woman is able to do that, or at least a woman comes to your life and is able to tell you the truth without you feeling aware about it, that's when that man becomes the better man. And I think that's what men sometimes feel like, oh, okay, she's just another one. Like, no, that's when we say, like, okay, this one is different.
No, and I mean, what's funny is I mentioned that on the last podcast we did. Like, I need somebody that's able to tell me when I'm doing something wrong or whatever, just straight up. Like, it doesn't matter what it is or how I'm going to feel about it. Just keep it real with me. Just tell me, no, nigga, you kind of, like, you need to be doing this correctly. You need to be holding yourself accountable more, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that, where it's like, that takes you to another level. Just like with anything. I mean, relationships coming apart with growth.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you got to have a relationship with parents, teachers, whoever, mentors. Mm-hmm. You got to have relationships with people that are pushing you to your limit. Yeah, to be great.
Very true.
As an adult, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Giving them the reason to be better.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the same thing. So, I mean, that's why I don't think you can say it's a business, because it's a little different. Business is like, whatever. Come here today, going tomorrow.
It's business and pleasure, man.
Some women are here today, going tomorrow.
Some are, but them ain't the ones that's supposed to push you to that next level.
No, they're there for the
same thing. It's just, but on the aspect, like, job, it's hard to find a good job.
The job ain't really pushing you to the next level.
But it's sometimes.
No, it's whatever you take of it.
Some jobs like relationships are like seasons. They're just there for that particular season. They're there to show you something so you can move on to the next. That's what I see it. Yeah. And I think there's certain relationships that you build with certain people. They're like, that was great for the time frame that we were there. Like, it was really amazing. But now I'm on to the next one. And like, we all feel a way when we just, like you said, we had this situation and then all of a sudden we just break up or move apart. But now it's like, you're in a different space and a different time, and it's okay to be, separate from that individual, especially if you two grew from that situation. That's what I would say.
But the problem with that sometimes is when people break up, they get real petty. Even though it could have just been a growing opportunities here today, going tomorrow, seasonal type thing. People get real petty after a breakup. Yeah. Or after whatever. I mean, it ain't got to be a specific breakup, but you go apart, it gets petty.
Well, piggyback off of that. Let's do Trey's keys to the game. Okay. What are top 3 pettiest things women done after a breakup, or even you weren't going with them, just a farewell?
A farewell. Petty. Top 3?
Yeah.
Women get real petty sometimes.
Man.
There's a lot of pettiness in the world. And I'm petty myself. So
yeah.
I'm trying to think. Top 3. I don't know. I might need some time on this one.
No, it's cool. I got you. I got 3 petty things.
Go ahead.
I got one for sure.
I done dealt with some petty, some petty queens. Just 100%. Let's see.
Petty LaBelle's out here.
Oh my goodness. Petty man. This is in no order, but let's see. One of them will be, I done got a whole wardrobe bleached almost. Like, bleach all the clothes.
It went from fall to spring colors.
Yeah, like, yo, what the? Like, huh? How did you even get in here?
Yeah.
So that's one. They got the video, the video game, breaking the video games, TVs, All that's done happened. I done got one. Oh man, I got a lot of petty stories.
I'm gonna say, yeah, you do.
It was one time where. Nah, I ain't gonna tell that story.
Oh.
It was another time. Look, some of the stories that I can't even tell.
Trey, you
on
might need to pour him another drink so we
Man,
can.
people need to know. So
But
they
no,
can
it
relate.
was one time. I went to a party, and the chick pulled up to the party. Got into a scuffle with my side joint. Then we riding home. It's like
You told me this story.
negative 30 degrees outside. Put me out the car. No jacket. I got on my
This around New Year, this nigga tell me in live
New Year's
action.
Eve.
He was telling me like I'm miles away. This nigga tell me the whole thing.
It's New Year's Eve. They put me out on the side of the road. New Year's Eve. It's negative 20 degrees outside. Pulled off. Kept my phone. I ain't had my phone on me. And basically left me for dead.
Do you remember what part of town were you in? Like, were you in the Twin Cities or were you outside of Twin Cities?
I was in the Twin Cities. I was leaving from downtown, right entering on the 94 from downtown when they dropped me off.
Then it's a dramatic story.
I don't even know how
That's
I got
very
home.
traumatic, man.
Yeah, no, I was cold in the mud. I don't know. I had no phone. I don't know how I got to the crib.
Your brother ain't grab you?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Probably.
I just remember you told me the story and it was
Oh
funny.
yeah, my brother.
Yeah, like he told me this shit live action. This like it's years ago now, but man, that shit was crazy. He tell me the breakdown, like he taking a shower, his phone.
Well, I wasn't telling the entire story.
It's a good story. You might need to tell it. This shit
mine-
funny as fuck. But never mind.
That's it for a different
I
day.
say, I guess the most petty thing, I don't know if I got top three. I remember one time it was like, for whatever reason, I forgot to pay a bill. She was living with me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot to pay the bill, and I was in my feelings, like, what you looking through my mail, blah, blah, blah. Completely irrelevant, but I forgot to pay the bill. She was like, okay, for whatever, I guess in her head, okay, cool, I'm going to teach him a lesson. I called her the next day, no response. All right, cool, probably busy. Follow up later on in the evening, no response. Next day, call again, no response. Okay, now I'm like, okay, what's going on? My boy lived maybe down the street from our townhouse. So he lived down the street from like, yo, can you go check to see what's going on? Hey, bro, ain't nobody here. Call again. Okay, now I'm like, what's going on? I'm driving back from out of town, right? Get a call. What's up, bro? It's her. I'm like, what you call me like one of the homies for? Like, I'm calling you. He's like, oh, you didn't want to pay the bill, so I might as well not pay you the attention that you really.
That's real.
I was like, yo,
Damn.
that's how you feel?
Damn.
I felt, like I said, I felt the way I felt a way. And I get it. It's, because when you're in those emotions, you want to be able to make that person feel the same way you felt.
Right.
But in all reality, it's never going to be like that. All you're doing is just simple fact. Like, all you're doing is just creating another Instagram post or something like that. Like, this is what I did in order to make sure this nigga felt the same way I did. I'm like, all right, cool, I get it.
Good.
But it's all dead. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that pettiness is something you got to mature on, especially if you're talking about you want to move forward in a relationship. Relationships are work.
Should they be though?
They work.
But they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be a struggle. And I say it like this. Another analogy.
There you go.
If you ever had a dream job, right? There's certain things that you went to do in order to make sure you got that job. There's certain skill sets that you picked up. There's certain certifications that you picked up. There's a lot of different things. You sent your resume to a professional resume type of individual. No spelling errors, no grammatical errors, nothing.
Right.
You got a contact within the company. You get past the phone interview, the other interview, the other interviews.
Right.
You got one of those, and another interview, and then you finally get to a place of where they make an offer letter. That was just to get the job.
Right.
Yeah. Make that analogy to the let's say, as man as woman. There's a time frame you approached her, then you got to know her a little bit, then you invited her out, then you set up a time frame. Maybe you got a little intel to figure out she likes to eat.
What's the
vibe? She likes seafood. I'm gonna go here to Ocean Air. Then I'm gonna set this up. Then I'm gonna tell her about this. Then you go vibe again. You're going through the interview phase, and then you still got to get to the job and work. It's your dream job, but you're still working. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing I've picked up, or at least have told myself, is like, if you're gonna go into a relationship, yes, I don't think it should be It shouldn't be a struggle, but it's going to be work. That's the analogy I've been using over this time.
You're dealing with a personality that might be different from yours, so that's always perfection.
Absolutely, like you are an individual. You like think about yourself as an individual. There's certain things about yourself that you know very well I shouldn't be doing that, but you know it's you. Now invite a whole nother individual. They got a whole nother different mindset. Y'all might got chemistry, you got compatibility, but you still gonna have to deal with that. Especially when you're talking about long-term relationships, and if you even talk about marriage, like that's work. Every married dude, because I do desire to be married. Every married dude I've ever talked to says marriage is work. So if marriage is work, relationships got to be work.
Yes, but no, I don't all the way agree with that. Just because if the relationship is already work, then the marriage is just going to be more work. And as time goes on, it's going to be more and more work. Eventually, it's going to be too much work. I mean, in a relationship, there shouldn't be that much work to be done. I don't think.
Explain that. How do you mean was that?
Because, I mean, as time goes on, the work compiles a little bit.
Yeah.
So depending on how much, I mean, there shouldn't be that much in a relationship then, because as time, a relationship is generally a short period of time in the course of a whole, I guess, eternity. If you're talking about marriage, because a marriage is supposed to be forever. So I mean, a relationship is just a short period. That's a couple years or whatever, however long you do a relationship for. That's just an instance. There shouldn't be that much work in that instance compared to an eternity.
I understand your premise, but I would also say, like, as you're back to the job analogy, as you're going through your dream job, you're also going through phases and where your title is changing, right? So you might go from associate to senior associate to principal, lead, to manager, to upper manager. There's different responsibilities that come along with those things. I assume, again, I have to assume because I'm not married, that there's going to be different responsibilities that are going to come because you think about kids that come along with the play.
In a marriage, though.
In a marriage, yes. But that's also where I'm thinking, because that's where my mindset is.
Yeah, but which is cool.
In a
relationship's not marriage, though.
I feel like
that's one title.
Yeah, I feel like the relationship in itself is going to be work, but I feel again it shouldn't be a struggle.
Is the relationship?
Maybe I see the two as different.
Is the relationship already stressful though? Like that just mean when you do get married, that bitch gonna be even more stressful. So if that shit like a copacetic, like nice neutral grind, like got little hiccups here and there, but ain't too headache, I could deal with it. Then that's a different story. Because when you do get married, you already know that person's personality and shit. But that bitch, if she already like just. Attitude,
I partially agree. Like I get it, but it's just like during the relationship phase, it should really be pretty easy. It shouldn't be that much work in a relationship phase because it's such a short period compared to a lifetime.
I ain't gonna say easy, but it shouldn't be super hard.
If it's difficult,
that's why I say that's why maybe for me, I've always said it's a difference between a struggle versus the work, because we can go to work every day. Like getting up at 8 a.m. Yeah, it's tough, but you know the routine, and there's certain ebbs and flows of your job that you're like, I know how to do this, and this is not a struggle,
right?
But I do also know that like it still works. So there's certain things that like there's certain days that are easy as hell when you're at work. There's certain days like where you're like, it's 4:30 hits like this, and you're like, I'm ready. I don't even in and out, yeah. But then there's certain days it's like, yo, it's only 9:30. I'm ready to go. But no, you got another few hours.
But to me, like feeling like that in a relationship is a problem. Then if you feel like, damn, this is like today, you really get under my skin today. And if that's something that is continuous, like that happens every 2 weeks or something like that, to me, then that's probably not a person that I should marry.
Right. But that's why I say your dream job versus just your everyday job. Because your dream job, you're going to put in, at least from the man's perspective, you're putting in the work because you know very well this is what I want to do.
Do everybody get a dream job, or do most people get comfortable?
That's true. I would say most people get comfortable, but I also think it's like
I seen a lot of times, this shit ain't ideal. I'm not the CEO at like whatever company I love the best, but shit, I applied to this shit long time ago. I'm comfortable with this shit. Yeah, shit get hard, but I'm going to deal with it because I don't want to apply to another job. That happens a lot.
I think a lot of people get comfortable with the complacency of certain relationships, But again, I use the dream job analogy because I know very well this is obviously something you've been thinking about, and then to that
the older you get, you're never gonna have your dream job.
The older you get, it's harder to get.
Harder.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna say never. I'm tripping.
It's never not.
Yeah.
It's
I'm tripping. Yeah, I ain't mean to say that. It gets harder.
Yeah, I would say it's harder, but I also think it's like when you look at like the partner you're dealing with, it's like I use the Airbnb analogy I used earlier. We click on so many different things that we think we're gonna find in a significant other. She got to be this, click. She got to be this, click. She got to be this, click. After a while, you're gonna get no results found. Women are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You keep clicking, you're gonna get no results found. Usually, you're needing about, and I hate to use the whole Tyler Perry reference, you probably need about 80 to 85% of what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. Hell, when you apply to the job, you probably had about 80 to 85% of what they're looking for.
Right.
Did you have 7 years of experience? You probably had about 5.
Right.
Did you have 7 certifications? You probably had about 2.
Right, which I agree with that.
Yeah, that's what I see it. It's like the 20% usually is what we're complaining about because, of course, we're human. Like, that girl annoys you because she has a high-pitched voice. Something like that. I don't know. It's deal breaker for some people. But it's like other people's like,
you feel me? She might not be 80, but you need to be 95% of what the fuck I'm looking for. But y'all too picky.
That's some people. Some people are like, I gotta have 100. I gotta have one. Some people are like, I gotta have 110. Some people are like, if it's not every single little minute detail, I'm not messing with her. I'm like, cool.
Some people say, find a job at a newer business.
Some would say that too.
Well, who said that? TK Kirkland? Because it's a new business. I'm paraphrasing. It's a new business every June.
Yeah, that's fair. Because it's very easy. We're millennials.
You just got a LLC.
We jump from job to job, like without question, because we're always looking for the best opportunity. So I definitely don't want to utilize that in the analogy when I'm saying that, but I think it's also where it goes back to that whole. It's funny because it's going back to the premise of it. It's like you see the situation shit going, but then you're like, wait a minute, there's a little bit more than just this physical attraction.
So I mean. Like I said, that brings it back to the original question. I mean, so you dated somebody. At what percentage do you start to take them seriously? So they check certain boxes. At what percentage of boxes do you start to say, maybe I should look at this from a serious aspect?
All right, till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, no. I don't know the answer to that question because even when I look at my situation, I was like, when I think about, I guess the two that I'm thinking about that off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. I don't know, for some reason, something clicked in my head. I'm thinking like, okay, this is more than just sex. This is more than just physical attraction. But I don't know the answer to I don't know if there's a meter that tells me.
It might not be a meter.
There may not be a meter or something like telling you like, hey, you probably should just go ahead and lock that one down. Mm-hmm. Because whatever you got in the back rear or what you got going for it,
it like this. So we saying, of course, nobody gonna check every single box. Mm-hmm. But at what point is it might be you're just compromising? At what point is it you're just comfortable now? Like it's of course everything give and take.
Well, I'm saying no more to come. I'm saying now you want to pursue this person for a real relationship,
right? Like
it's no longer just a situation or whatever it might have been beforehand. No, this is a person now that I possibly want to be with.
I think for me, it was like, again, I'm a nerd, so I love conversation, as you very well can see. I get a certain conversation going where I see there's an intellectual type of stimulation. Hey, you got me in a different mindset because now it's like, now I know I can have conversations with you outside of just what am I trying to do in order to sleep with you.
Right.
Like as far as like that mental stimulation, I love it. I know. And language, what is it? Love languages?
Love language.
Yeah. The words of affirmation are like high on my list. Mm-hmm. I know that just from taking it. So I'm like, I know that once I receive that type of intellectual stimulation, and I was like, oh, okay, we're talking more than just something you saw in Love and Hip Hop. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like we can actually have a dialogue, and it don't got to be about sports or politics, but it could be something we're talking about right now, and then we're going in depth and we're figuring out each other's thoughts, and maybe those thoughts are evolving. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think my love of affirmation and shit mainly like for me spend quality time, but so I think yes, like you said, have great conversation. Also, we said earlier, push me, be a better person.
Right.
But can I just vibe with you? Like, if we chill, we ain't gotta say shit. Like, don't talk. We just vibing and shit. I like that shit too. Like, that's very key. Cause some people do force conversation. You ain't gotta force that shit all the time.
No, I think if the conversation we have right now is obviously natural. Granted, it's still a podcast, but it's natural.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
flowing. I think that is probably what I'm more keen toward. There's times I know me. At times I can be as mute as a mouse and won't say nothing. But I also know that if the conversation is actually flowing, I want to do that. And I think the ability to vibe and just knowing when to speak and then knowing when not to speak is a real thing. But it's you can only vibe so much before someone is like, okay, what are we doing? Men or women. I know I've said that, okay, we vibe.
Yeah.
But it's there's only so much vibe. But the song only lasts about 3 minutes, 4 seconds. You eventually gonna push the next song, or you gonna move on from Spotify.
Right. So y'all both said things that were somewhat they not too in depth. I mean, how many women have y'all come across that fit that criteria of what y'all just said? 'Cause, I mean, that's not that in depth.
I've only come across maybe 1 or 2.
That's real.
And it's probably only been the 1 or 2 to where we've actually had interaction,
Right.
further than just a casual friend or something like that. But
Right.
1 or 2 that I can think of the top of my head. But I feel even though that feels as surface level as it sounds, I also think it's a matter of in order to go to that place, you kind of have to
You gotta have some type of chemistry.
that's
chemistry important.
Exactly. Compatibility and chemistry, I think, are the more. I think we think it's easy to find. I think it's actually more rare than what we like to think.
I 100% think so. I think it's very difficult to find compatibility.
Yeah, because it's think about it. You're trying to get someone to vibe off your frequency, which is consistently changing.
Absolutely. It's just hard to find that fit.
It's hard to find it, man.
It's hard to find that fit.
Hey, you guys been on teams before, right?
Yeah.
You got a team. Every player play their role, right? As a whole, y'all got a chemistry, right? Everyone. So, do this mean we just need a team?
Well, here's the thing with the team, though. Not all teams have good chemistry. Having a team, one person can throw everybody's chemistry off. You see that with Kyrie Irving. He throw everybody's chemistry off. But one person can throw everybody off. So, I mean, that's the thing about having a team is it's so easy to throw the next person off or somebody that, if you're not playing your role correctly, the team doesn't work.
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna lie. That's true because everybody you probably don't even know they on the same team, but one little thing can throw something off.
It throws everything off. So, I mean, it's really about just, knowing your role and knowing where you fit in.
And but I also think to that point, how comfortable are you with your role? Because
no, you got to be comfortable.
You got to be comfortable with your role because your role may not necessarily be what you want it to be.
Absolutely, and that's a major thing. That's
really the biggest thing.
Yeah,
it's a lot of times somebody's role is not what they want it to be. Everybody can't be the main person.
And honestly, look, this shit come back to being honest and shit. I done back in my heyday, done talk to people who do certain things, live certain life, got niggas. But when I catch the G, shit, I know you got a nigga, so I'm gonna do me. Oh my God, why you so honest and shit? But I'm trying to tell you so you know your role. So when you see me on the street with the damn quarterback, the main motherfucking player, you know what it is. And
right.
Honesty is too much.
But then you gotta also factor in what your role was supposed to be. Maybe she didn't want that to be your role.
No, they told me cause I said shit. I know what you got going on. Let me be your side nigga.
Told them that, but
I don't sell yourself short. You can be the main nigga. I don't want to be the main nigga.
You can't tell them what your role's supposed to be on their team.
Yeah,
that's not how that works.
LeBron can do it. Why can't I?
But that's why teams don't always work.
That's why his team.
Exactly why.
As a LeBron fan who's seen who became a bigger LeBron fan after the trade is I've seen what he can do and what he is playing his role and when he's not playing his role. It's he allows, and I'll try to tie it all the way back. It's great when he's have obviously the shooters around him, and then he also has a lot of basketball, what they call basketball IQ. You can attest to it. Yeah. So it's when you got that basketball IQ, he's able to play, which I think is his most comfortable, the magic role.
Yeah,
when he has to
absolutely.
when he has to be the MJ or Kobe role. I don't necessarily say he can't do it,
But that's not what he's comfortable
That's
with.
not his comfortability because his
Yeah,
game is not built. His game is built on strength and power. So your role with this lady might not be. We always hear about the alpha male. Like sometimes, I'm not saying you allow her to lead, but sometimes she wants to. She might give you the ability to make a decision. She might know what the decision is, but she just wants to hear your input.
Absolutely.
and I fuck up with that because I'm too honest. But
as long as
your life would be better if I play the role I want.
No, I feel like I will say this though to Trey. Honesty is never a bad thing. How the honesty is delivered is always the fucked up thing.
I say it greatly, so I'm just aligning with
Say
women.
greatly. We go ahead and take this real quick.
Yeah.
Are we taking it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we all agree, we all know that black men don't cheat.
Hey,
Appreciate you for coming through today. Great podcast. They probably mad at all the sports analogies. They like what they talking about.
They gonna figure it out.
They'll figure it out.
They probably ain't catch the metaphor. Y'all got to watch the bit 5 times and you ain't catch it.
That's why I try to use some very relatable, relatable shit.
But it still might have went over their head. Like, that's some dope ass shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah.